Hey there, I'm Charlotte, the Gulf Coast Granny, and today I'm going to take you for a walk around the garden before all of this rain comes from Tropical Storm Claudette. No, she hasn't been officially named yet, but by the time she gets here, she'll be Claudette. We're going to need an ark by the time this thing's over. We have already had about 40 inches of rain this year so far, and we're just saturated. So let's look at the garden. And then maybe next week, I'll show you what it looks like after the fact. Okay, well, we're going to start on this side today. There's Hazel over there. She's not doing so great. We might be having a funeral for her before too much longer. She's got some powdery mildew. She's got some dry, crispy leaves on her. And she's not produced any cucumbers in a while. This is my Virginia sweet tomato. There's some beauties right there. They still need to grow some. Hopefully they'll survive the wind. These are my poor pathetic sunflowers that are just not growing like they should, and I think it's because of the shade of that tree. But I did plant some okra in all of these blank spots in this bed, and we'll see if they come up or not. I don't see any yet. All I see are weeds. In this row here, we have two new containers. The first container here contains Diane sweet potatoes. They are an orange sweet potato. It's supposed to be a very fine texture, and I'm looking forward to eating those. And in the bed behind it are my red Japanese sweet potatoes. They are a white flesh sweet potato with a purple outside. This bed here contains all of the peppers. These first peppers here are ají dulce peppers. They're doing fantastic. They're blooming, and I can't wait to eat some of these peppers. This one is a serrano. That one is a tabasco. That one's a pimento. This is a shishito, and it's already putting out peppers. I've eaten a few of them. This is a sweet roaster pepper, and it was doing great, and the leaves just started falling off. So I don't know if it's getting ready to do something else or not. These three healthy looking plants here are red bell peppers. These two are the black bell peppers, or the purple. They're not performing very well yet. And these are the orange bell peppers. Now, I will say, my peppers usually start coming to life in the fall after the heat of the summer. So I'm just going to keep fertilizing them and treating them for whatever kind of sickness is on these leaves. And hopefully by fall they'll start doing something spectacular. I've probably gotten 6 or 8 peppers off of these here. So it's not like we're going without. The container garden I've kind of thinned out. These tomatoes are dying. Good riddance, because I didn't like them anyway. They are pink tigers, and they split every time it rains. So I don't want those kind of cherry tomatoes in my garden. If they split, I don't need them. These are sun gold tomatoes, and they're delicious. Absolutely wonderful. And there is another one of those tomatoes. I'm going to cut it off before the storm hits, because I just don't want her anymore. This is the bed that I planted the corn in. Nothing's come up yet, but it will. That's the peaches and cream variety. The roses are doing fairly well. This one has a little bit of fungus on it, but it's still blooming, and I love the lime green color of the leaves. This is the Twilight Zone rose that has a bright purple flower on it. Look at that. That was supposed to be a salmon orange colored rose. It was mislabeled because that's definitely a red rose. Pretty, but it's not the color I had picked out. That's a lavender. This is Coco Loco, and this is the most interesting color. I love her. And then there's State of Grace over there. We thought she was dead, but she's not. She pulled through. I can't remember what squash I have growing there. I just stuck the seeds in the ground, and now it's trying to eat the rose bush. every day I come out here and pull it off. Come here, you. And I try to direct it outside of the bed. There, like that. This is also a new bed. And in the front of it, I planted zipper peas, but they haven't come up yet. And along that trellis line, I planted some Armenian cucumbers. I just did it like 2 days ago. This is my sad wall of purple potted pole beans. I do have a sunflower right there. Isn't she lovely? And there's Kajori melons growing down there. But these beans, I don't believe they're going to do anything. So I'm going to pull them out. And I'm going to be moving the beans behind the sweet potatoes so that they can get better sun. This bed here has only the leftover sweet potato plants that I had because I learned from Miss Linda over at the New Orleans Gardener that if you want to eat the greens, you need to save some out, because if you pull the greens off of the sweet potato plants that you're trying to get sweet potatoes out of, that the sweet potatoes will be too small. So I put these sweet potatoes over here just so we can eat the greens. There's only 5 of them, but I think that'll be enough. Sweet potato vines grow like crazy, so there will be plenty. Now, we don't have any soil in this bed. I've got a couple of, oh, there's a container come out. I got 2 empty containers in it, and we're just going to get soil in the fall, and I'll just use that bed for my fall garden. This kiddie pool also has zipper peas planted in it, but only a few of them have come up. And I've got a whole bag of zipper peas in there, so I'm going to come replant where the blank spots are and try to get a whole swimming pool full. Zipper peas are wonderful. They're kind of like Crowder peas. They're creamier, and they are great in soups. These are my poor sickly San Marzano tomatoes. And they're not doing terribly bad. They're just very thin. There's not a lot of leaf growth. But I am getting tomatoes on them. Even though every now and then I get one with blossom end rot. I transplanted that mint into this bigger pot. Before I transplanted it, it was that size. And it has grown tremendously. So, if your mint's not doing well, stick it in a pot, a bigger pot. These are Sunrise Bumblebee cherry tomatoes, and they are wonderful. I came out here earlier and picked a lot of tomatoes off. These are also some more Virginia Sweets. I have a few tomatoes getting red on this vine over here. But for the most part, I picked all the red ones off yesterday afternoon because I did not want them splitting when we get this 9,000 inches of rain we're expecting between now and Monday. But that's all the tomato bushes. They're doing really good, but I have had a few problems. One of the problems is the rain. If you'll notice, they're still putting on flowers, but the tomatoes at the bottom, they pollinated and, of course, became fruit. Then there was a second flush of flowers during all the rain we had in April, and every stinking one of them fell off. They had blossom drop. They were not able to pollinate, so the flowers just fell off. So now I'm getting a third flush of flowers on these bushes over here that I planted later in the season. So I'm really hoping that this rain this weekend does not cause blossom drop on these, because I'd like to be able to keep them until, till they make tomatoes and I can store them. Now, these are in this bed. As soon as I get all these red ones off of here and all of these ripen up, I'm pulling all these plants out, and I'm going to prepare this bed for the fall garden. I did pull out all of my squash. They were really starting to look bad. All of the fruits started getting very small and really not worth eating. So I went ahead and pulled them out. But I ate enough squash to last me till next spring, maybe. If you'll notice, my grass and my weeds are a little overgrown, but we're not going to be able to mow it or weed eat until after the storm is gone, and that's probably going to be somewhere around Sunday or Monday. But I did want to show y'all what I've got over here. I have planted some Congo watermelons in this planter and also in this one. Now, I don't know if it's too late for watermelon, but I know they love the heat and the sun, and right now we got a lot of heat and a lot of sun. So hopefully out of these 10 plants, I'll get 1 or 2 watermelons. But I am very proud of this eggplant here. It is taller than my waist. And look at those beautiful eggplants. You know, look at that. I've already eaten probably 8 or 10 eggplants off of this bush, and it just keeps producing. This is the ping tongue eggplant. A few years ago, I grew the normal sized eggplants that you see in the grocery store, and I didn't care for them at all. They got way too mushy. These don't get much bigger around than that, and you just slice them or cut them into chunks and roast them. And I love these. I like them much better. You can caramelize the skin, and it's a little crispy, and then the inside is very soft and creamy, and I just love these eggplants. So y'all, that's a quick walk through the garden. I seriously hope that we don't get any damage this time around, because the hurricane we had in October really set me back a little bit. But if you'll notice, the skies are gray, and we've already had some sprinkly rain, and we're just going to hunker down inside the house, do some cleaning in there till the storm's over. Y'all take care. Get out there and grow something after the storm.